Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description.
Okay, so get this right. You know those old-fashioned, constitutional walks people used to take?
Uh-huh.
There's actually a really good reason why they do that after dinner.
Yeah.
We're going to be diving into post-meal walks today, specifically an article from Naked Nutrition.
Okay.
It's called 5 Benefits of Walking After Meals. And you might be surprised by how powerful something as simple as, just going for a walk can be.
Yeah, it is fascinating, how these traditions often have roots in pretty solid science, right? And today we've got studies that are actually backing up what people seem to know, centuries ago.
Totally. I was reading about how these post-meal walks can actually give your digestion a boost, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just anecdotal. The article cites some pretty compelling research.
Absolutely. Walking after you eat can help stimulate the entire digestive process. It's gently encouraging, everything to move along smoothly.
So there's even a study mentioned where walking after a meal was more effective than medication at reducing bloating and discomfort.
Seriously.
I mean, if that's not a reason to, lace up your shoes, I don't know what is.
That's a really good point. It's a good reminder that we often overlook the simplest solutions, right?
Yeah.
Something as basic as a walk can have a real impact, even compared to pharmaceuticals.
Wow. Yeah. And it's not just about feeling better in the moment.
Right.
This article dives into how post-meal walks can help regulate blood sugar.
Uh-huh.
Which has implications for everybody, not just folks managing diabetes.
Exactly. When we eat, our blood sugar naturally rises, right?
Yeah.
Walking after meals can help your body process that glucose more efficiently.
Okay.
And it can even help prevent, those energy spikes and crashes that we often feel.
So it's like a proactive step towards maintaining healthy blood sugar levels in the long run.
Precisely. Think of it as a simple way to potentially reduce your risk of developing insulin resistance.
Right.
Or even type 2 diabetes down the line.
Wow. That's a pretty big deal for something as easy as fitting in a walk after lunch or dinner.
It is.
I found that connection to long-term health really compelling.
What's interesting here is that walking after a meal seems to be more effective than just general physical activity at any time of day. It's like you're targeting your body's response to food intake.
That makes you think about how we can strategically time our activities for maximum benefit.
Right.
But this isn't just about digestion and blood sugar.
Yeah.
The article also mentions that post-meal walks can do wonders for your heart.
Absolutely. We know walking is generally good for your cardiovascular health. But there's something about that, post-meal timing, that seems to amplify the benefits.
Oh, so the article delves into how walking after meals can strengthen your heart muscle, improve blood flow,
right,
and even lower blood pressure.
Wow.
It's like a triple whammy of heart-healthy goodness.
And these findings are backed by quite a bit of research, too.
Right.
Which is always reassuring.
One of the studies mentioned found that just 3 10-minute walks a day could significantly impact blood pressure.
That's so manageable, Yeah. It really highlights how small changes can make a big difference.
Totally. And wouldn't you know it, fitting in a walk after each meal, covers those 3 10-minute bursts perfectly.
Exactly. It's all about finding ways to, seamlessly integrate these healthy habits into our routine. And what better time than, after you've just finished a delicious meal.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy how we've only, scratched the surface of this whole post-meal walk thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's even more to uncover.
For sure. The article also mentions some potential benefits for, managing triglycerides and weight.
Right.
Things that I think a lot of people are interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Let's tackle triglycerides first.
Okay.
So they're basically fats that circulate in your bloodstream, and having high levels, can really increase your risk of heart disease.
So keeping those in check is pretty important. I was reading how the article connected post-meal walks to triglyceride reduction. What's the science behind that?
Well, it seems that walking right after you eat might help your body, process those fats better,
Okay.
and it prevents them from building up in your blood.
Gotcha. So it's not just about the exercise, it's about the timing.
Right.
Like in relation to when you've eaten. The article mentioned a study focusing on older women
Yeah.
who weren't very active, right?
That's right. And the study found that incorporating those short, regular walks, especially after meals, led to a noticeable decrease in their post-meal triglyceride levels.
Okay, so that's encouraging.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about how broadly these findings apply. Do we know if this holds true for, other demographics?
That's a great question. While more research is always helpful,
Yeah.
this study definitely points to some exciting possibilities.
Okay.
It suggests that regardless of age or activity level, walking after meals could be super valuable for managing triglycerides.
That makes sense. It's like giving your body a little boost in processing those fats.
Exactly.
Now let's switch gears to weight management. We know walking burns calories, revs up your metabolism.
Right.
But is there something special about walking after a meal that makes it even more effective for this?
The article suggests that post-meal walks can help you create and stick to a consistent fitness routine.
Okay.
Think about it. Walking after each meal naturally builds in multiple short bursts of exercise
Right.
throughout your day.
That's a really good point. It's so much easier to stay consistent when it's woven into your existing schedule.
Exactly.
You don't have to, carve out that extra time, psych yourself up for a long workout.
Exact. And you know what? Some studies even suggest that several shorter bouts of exercise might be even more effective for weight loss
Oh, wow.
than one extended session. So those post-meal strolls could be packing a bigger punch than we realize.
Fascinating. And beyond the purely physical benefits, I wonder if there's a mental aspect at play here too.
Oh, for sure.
If you know you're going for a walk after a meal, maybe you're less likely to overindulge.
Oh, absolutely. It's like having built-in accountability.
Right.
Your future self is waiting for that walk.
Yeah.
And no one wants to feel weighed down and uncomfortable
Right.
when they're out there enjoying themselves.
That's a great way to put it. It's like a gentle nudge
Yeah.
towards making those healthier choices. So we got this potential physical benefit with calorie burning, improved fat processing, and then this mental layer of mindfulness. Portion control, it seems like a winning combination.
It really is. And let's not forget how enjoyable walking is.
Yeah.
And accessible, no gym memberships needed.
Right.
Just comfortable shoes and some motivation.
Speaking of motivation, the article offers some practical tips for actually incorporating these walks.
Yeah.
They emphasize starting small, right?
Yes. Aim for 10 to 15 minutes after each meal initially.
Okay.
You can gradually increase it as you get more comfortable. It's about making it sustainable, not overwhelming.
And they also recommend listening to music or podcasts while you walk,
Oh, yeah.
which I love.
It's such a simple way to make it so much more enjoyable.
Totally.
And don't underestimate the power of social support. Invite a friend, family member,
Yeah.
even a coworker
Yeah.
to join you.
Turning it into social time is such a great idea.
Yeah.
You're getting those steps in, connecting with someone, and maybe even inspiring them to prioritize their health too.
Exactly. It's a win-win-win.
It is.
And don't forget to stay hydrated, especially if you're walking, for a long time.
All of this sounds super doable,
Yeah.
even for people who don't consider themselves exercise people.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm feeling a little guilty about all those times I just plopped on the couch after a meal.
Well, the great thing is there's no time like the present to change those habits.
Right.
What's so exciting about this is that we're not talking about making huge, life-altering changes.
Yeah.
It's those small, consistent actions
Yeah.
that add up over time.
I love that perspective. It feels empowering, not daunting. It's amazing how much we've learned from just this one article.
It is.
I have a feeling there's even more to explore.
Oh, there always is. In the final part of our deep dive, we're going to step back in time
Okay.
and delve into the history and cultural significance of walking after meals.
Cool.
You might be surprised by what we find.
Welcome back. It's amazing to think that something as simple as walking after a meal has such a rich history, right?
It is. It is.
And cultural significance. We've been talking about all these modern day benefits, but this has been around for centuries.
It really makes you wonder what our ancestors understood,
Right. Totally.
that we're only now rediscovering.
Yeah, exactly. Remember those constitutional walks we mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Those weren't just some random fad.
Yeah.
This was a cornerstone
Totally.
of health and well-being for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah. I was reading that these constitutionals were like especially popular in the 18th and 19th centuries.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it makes you picture those like Jane Austen novels with everyone strolling through, gardens in their finery.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's so fancy.
I know, but it wasn't just about fashion or leisure.
Right.
Physicians back then were actually encouraging it.
Really?
Like walking after meals. They thought it helped with digestion and overall vitality.
Interesting.
They saw it as a gentle way to like invigorate both your body and your mind.
That's fascinating how that traditional wisdom like aligns with what science is showing us today.
Yeah.
It's like they intuitively understood this connection between movement and, digestion,
Right.
overall health.
And it wasn't just like a solitary activity.
Mm.
These walks were social occasions. People would connect with friends, their neighbors, enjoy the fresh air, each other's company.
That's awesome.
It was a built-in community ritual.
It's interesting to think about how our modern lifestyle has kind of shifted away from that.
It has.
We're so often rushing, eating on the go, and spending our downtime like glued to screens.
Exactly. We've just become way more sedentary.
Yeah.
And that disconnect from nature,
Right?
and even from each other, has really had an impact on our health.
So in a way, by reviving this practice of like post-meal walks, we're not just like embracing this healthy habit, we're reconnecting with something much deeper.
I think you're right. There's something grounding and almost meditative about taking that time to just stroll.
Yeah.
After you've eaten. It's a chance to slow down, appreciate your surroundings, and let your body settle.
It's like hitting that reset button before diving back into the, busyness of the day. And it's so simple.
It is.
Accessible. You don't need any equipment or a gym membership, just a little bit of time.
Right.
And the willingness to put one foot in front of the other.
And the beauty of it is that those steps, even if they're just around the block, can lead to some pretty amazing results.
Totally.
Improved digestion, better blood sugar, healthier heart, and maybe even a stronger connection to yourself and your community.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is.
Makes you want to like lace up your shoes and get out there.
Absolutely. I hope this deep dive has encouraged you to, give these post-meal walks a try.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe even invite a friend or a family member along.
Right.
And you can kind of rediscover that simple joy of moving together.
That's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't have to overthink it. Just start with a few minutes after your next meal and see where those steps take you. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Happy walking.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.